And in the same way, if I ever hear someone earnestly refer to a point as a few sups of dynamite, I might have to chew on the nearest golf club.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I can stomach the Northsiders,
Mm.
for want of the analogy of one's dietary requirements. The the South Side poignance, the absolute full on, like my waddy without the diluted water of
Mm.
Southsidedness is, I'm chemically opposed to it, like fucking poison ivy. It hurts me vehemently, but I can deal with fucking Deco far fucking quicker than I can deal with Jekyll.
Mm.
And is that just because of my fucking exposure to it? More than fucking likely, gorillas in the fucking mist. But people who have the exact same kind of thing, where you hear a load of lads on the back of the bus taking heroin and playing Tiesto, as is their want. You don't get that type of fucking culture on the south side. No one's fucking playing any decent fucking
Yes, you
songs on the south.
do.
No,
You get the exact same thing, only they rob your phone.
Yeah, it's you see on the south side it's more cocaine and Mumford and Sons. It's a different thing, you know, like it's
I don't
different,
know,
there's
go
different
that
levels
believe
to
far.
it.
You see, the south side isn't actually fucking Donnybrook and Black Rock and all this posh shit. Are you joking me? That we actually hate those areas for that exact reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're like the Dublin equivalent of Florida. They just happen to be there, and we just kind of like
Where
skirt
the old
around.
people go when they retire.
Yeah,
Well,
you know, kind of way. It's like you had to put them somewhere, and unfortunately, Kildare, Meath, and Louth left us on scent. And unfortunately, Bull Island can only hold so many top
we
poshes
need
at once.
we
So-
we need we need another, we need an other, because you say north side and you think north side, you say south side and you think south side.
But Dublin began on the south side, so like you go back down to the root of it, the settlement was on the south side.
Yeah, well, we can thank you very much for losing that battle. Congratulations. Yous lost and then we were born. It's all right. I know what it means to be born of an accident. Sure, here I am. Such is the design of all of it. But by the right of cultural geography, I define the south side by the hoity-toities. I do not define the south side by the regular irregulars.
That's just how straw men work, though. Like you're always you're always associating the extremes of everything. It's the same with like any city in the world. Like every New Yorker is Uncle fucking like Uncle Barry. Yeah, I'm walking here. You know, it's like that's always the case. And same with it, like anyone from Glasgow is like, you know, some sort of glasser that will cut your face open. Like that's just natural. Like the median person in every town is probably fine.
But
I mean that'd be living by the stereotypes.
but the
Every person in Kerry is Michael Healy Ray, although there is quite a lot of them down there.
Are you joking me? That's the only exception to the fucking rule. Are you joking? I've spent 11 summers down there. They all fucking sound like
people
Michael
down
Healy
there
Ray.
that aren't related to him. At least
that's only one of here's the phrase, and I'm wondering if we can classify it. You can be a Southsider or a Northsider, but do the two of you classify yourself as a dub?
Fucking right, I do.
There we are. We have found the middle ground, of which the Liffey is. That I don't mind where you're from.
No, but we can all balance on each corner of a fucking shopping cart in the Liffey, can't we?
You turn around. We can stand on the shoulders of that broken clock. Wherever it is, it's in there somewhere. The time and the slide.
Ah, they took it out. They wouldn't leave it in, the bastards.
Right.
Much to Gayborn's distaste.
But like that's like by right. Yeah, you're probably right there. Just that's the best you're getting. But I can't admit it. In the same way, I'll never fucking say that Cork is lovely. I can't fucking say it.
Nah. See, I'm a Kerry man. I've been actually being a dub with Kerry roots. I'll tell you one thing. I've been vehemently raised to fucking despise Cork from every corner of the country.
From the West End.
Like, I have to go there next week, and I have a feeling that I need to go to my doctor to see if there's any like specific shots I need to get before I go there.
You need to get your vaccine for COVID-19.
Cork.
Yep. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely a Cork is what I was going to go for, but okay.
Yeah. No, we were.
Well, I mean, you know, thank God we're going to Photo Wildlife because I have to listen to Aaron be happy for fucking 2 days.
Photo. Yeah, you have to call it by its original parlance, otherwise it's just.
Although I will say, my tonic for everything will be, this is better than Dublin.
But
Aaron, well,
it's
better than Dublin.
but in the same way, change around your punctuation. You can go, oh, this is better. This is better than Dublin, but it's in Cork. Most things I see in Cork are actually, you look around and go, this would be great if it wasn't in fucking Cork.
If we could just take the Cork out of this place, that would be nice.
Much in the same way I joke with me, like there's one of me, like me best mate is from Ballyfermot. I was like, if we could just swap use Wicklow and Tariff, I think the world will balance out.
No, fuck off. Ballier's ours. You'll never take it. You never take it. As long as I live and breathe, you'll never take it. Who's your best mate, by the way? I grew up there, so I don't know whether I'd know.
Would you know anyone by the name of Joseph Casey?
He wouldn't hurt me. He loves me.
No, but I will research because chances are I've spoken to him at some point in my life.
Easily, yeah. Tall fella, was very hippie-ish, long hair, lip piercing.
Chances are, yes, I will have fucking
And by the way,
ran in those circles.
and to go in the way back time machine, decent goalkeeper as well. So.
If I was to make a Facebook analogy, I guarantee I'll not be able to tell you whether or not I know him, but I guarantee we have about 75 mutual friends.
Yeah, wiener cousins. What?
That's because she's doomed, Manny.
More than likely. That's where I did most of my hunting, you know.
Hang on.
You think Nick would hurt her?
Only if he finds her and take it from me.
Trying to find a reasonable.
Just Dave hiding the bushes with a harpoon.
Or as he like to call it, the Southside Special.
Jesus,
Yes.
the Civic Centre on
Catch you later, hip chick.
a Saturday afternoon.
I should probably find you one that would be more closer to the
Yeah,
time.
it's PGs you can get it, Brian.
Well, no, I know I did there. That's in a different folder.
What is up with airplane food anyway?
Compartmentalization is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
What's my name?
One of the most important skills in the world.
Decompare.
That should be a bar in real life. That blue casco looks class, to be fair.
To be fair, that is definitely a real place. Like,
It
look at
has
those.
to be. It has to be.
It is a beatnik. It's just nothing but beatniks. Like, that's
Like,
just,
I love the stereotype that the artsy poet hippies look exactly like they should in real life. With the fucking berets and the glasses, the really thin John Lennon style glasses. And fucking...
The grand irony of all these people who are like, are all individualists and have their own identity, and they all look the fucking same.
Speaking
Like-
of Barbank.
Well, I was about to say the workman smoking area is that, isn't it? Like, it's like, oh yes, I'm a unique person. Really, you have the exact same hat as that guy over there.
Yeah,
And you
mustaches and
sound the exact same way. And you all
Consumerism is a horrible, horrible thing.
Yes. So I'm doing a poem now instead.
Oh,
Nothing.
oh yes, these single word.
Yes.
What's it called? There's a name for these things.
Soliloquy is what you're thinking of.
And it's so be.
Slam
Or you
poems.
think of a haiku.
Slam. I think that's it.
Poetry slam, you mean? Oh.
Poetry slam. That's the one.
I curl to a fist.
Either the greatest moment of your life or the worst thing you'll ever experience, or as I like to call it, Lucan.
Or am I? Ignore me.
Lucan.
You said this
I would
to me
happily
in
fucking
your
live in
sleep.
Lucan.
No, yeah.
Wholeness.
Yeah, I would.
Lucan's a fucking mistake.
For what purpose?
I went to
You see,
Lucan. I went to Lucan.
it
I'm
depends
not
on
going
where
back.
in Lucan that you go. Because if you go to Hillcrest in Lucan, you will find multiple €1 million homes. Very, very well kept streets. And it's all along that general, I would say, 3 or 4 square mile section of Lucan. Yeah, you'd live there, Brian. Trust me when I say that. You would fucking
Everywhere,
live there.
everywhere is nice to where I grew up. I can appreciate the artistic merit of a burnt-out car.
Ah, yes, or as I used to call it, the 2 a.m. alarm.
Climb back.
Where do we?
I am not
Where
dead.
do we?
Oh,
Yeah.
I grew up in the worst, one of the worst areas of Ballyfermot, ravaged by heroin.
I was going to
Like,
say is that you can both appreciate the finer things in life.
Good
I
job.
fucking can. I have a look at. I've got one of these lovely little card readers. See these? See these? I can appreciate that because it's not a block of hash.
Maybe it would help if you.
To be fair, if you try and smoke a USB stick, that would actually be quite impressive.
It's called a vape.
Like-
That would be like
I was going to say, it's just like, I've just described the vape there, haven't I? It's like, oh, what's the flavor? Lead.
Lead, yeah. Oh yes, the purple lead paint flavor.
Yeah. Incidentally, after us doing a poem, if we ask this girl who runs the bar to do a poem after, she just robs our one and just does it better.
Ah,
So the game has actually kept track of your poem, and it can be as long as you want it to
fantastic.
be. Yeah.
See, I love this. I just love the little nuances that you notice because back in that day, as we all know, like memory was extremely fucking tight and limited
Oh, yeah.
in regards to making games, and there's only a finite amount you could have at that time, you know, to make it
Oh, yeah.
marketable.
Well, as I said, like that's why they're all skeletons, because like they
Yeah.
can only deal with polygons. They couldn't do
Exactly.
real body renders at this point, and nor would they want to. This was
It was
at the end.
literally on the brink. It was like a
Two-
year
one more-
before
two
that
more years.
became 2 years, and then you'd have that kind of leap.
Exactly, yeah.
Um,
But that's,
like
that's what made it unique in the sense that
Yeah.
like there was a moment in time where you could make a game where everyone's skeletons, and
Yeah.
this is what we have.
And that's why this one is like we've spoken about it loads of times before. This is why this is the last hurrah of, you know, really not just point and clicks, but this kind of era of games.
It is, yeah. I would consider
You
this
know?
to be the last great point and click game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Now look, now listen. There is a wonderful renaissance going on with the point.
Oh, absolutely. If you look on Steam and even Xbox Game Pass, if you look on games, what's the ones that me and Neil were talking about last year, Pentiment and a few other games like that. I mean,
Exclamation
literally a
Power,
renaissance.
like that. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But-
No, like there's loads of them around, and like it is the fact
Yeah.
that like again the kind of gaming universe is kind of cyclical in a way. Is like these things often come around mainly because it's just resources. Like it's easier to do a point of the game now than it is to do a AAA franchise. And realistically, some people just kind of want a smaller experience rather than a big fucking 80-year.
That's why the release of the second trailer for GTA 6 really like sparked something that I needed to do. So when this trailer came out and I was looking at it, everyone's going fucking nuts over it, and the fact that they could do this on a PS5, and I thought, no, you're right. That's fucking insane what they're able to do on a base PS5.
Yes.
I went looking over what the technical jumps were before it was kind of like before Rockstar were the benchmark, if you will, for kind of pushing the limits of what you can get out of a console. Because everyone has their own opinions of Rockstar, but I will give it to them that they do only release on console first.
Oh yeah.
You know, PC a year later. Not many companies do that anymore, which is really, really good. But I went looking back on a few of the games. Like I was looking at Shadows of the Empire on N64, the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Because I remember going back. I used to love that game, playing that game. I look back on it, and some of the movement and some of the actual gameplay, I was looking at it going, that's not too dissimilar from what we had like mid 2000s, late 2000s. Like the little leaps that we missed back then, without even realizing, like playing these games at the time, what we were actually experiencing.
Yeah.
Just the mechanics and the actual coding and the gameplay of these games. Some of them, the combat system in Zelda, for example, Ocarina of Time. You know, I mean, it
Oh yeah.
at the
Like,
base of it, it's not much different from what we have in some games now.
No, look at
Yeah,
everything
Flash
is an evolution and stuff like that from it.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole premise in a sense. But as I said, like that's the like it's also what kind of experience people want as well. Like GTA 6 is obviously going to be like a fucking phenomenal hit, and it'll be one of those kind of like, you know, ubiquitous games that everyone's going
I'll
to
be
play.
taking a week off. Like I will say it to you now, I'll be taking a week off. I will be buying the game, and I will be absolutely immersed in the whole thing. Because that's the way it's been with every GTA. I went to the midnight launch for 5. Like, even though I had the collector's edition ordered on Amazon.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go to the midnight launch, but a mate of mine and his friends were going. I was like, I'm gonna fucking buzz along anyway for the crack.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And just
but at the same time, like, I can also see that there's a kind of a satisfaction in having a smaller, more kind of personal experience as well, where it is just you and an adventure.
100%.
Well, the beautiful thing is like as much as the big like kind of scene is pretty much kind of is slowly creaking into kind of a corporate like mess. At least there will always be an avenue and an outlet for actual game designers and actual people with ideas, notions, and it's sometimes like, and again, sometimes it's the case like if you want to kind of make a game that is like the Grim Fandango and it feels like a 90s point and click, but the beautiful thing is there's an audience for that, and there'll always be an audience for it because it doesn't go away.
There was these independent developers that were talking about Xbox Game Pass being a revolution in independent games, because like you could put it on Steam and maybe 10 people would play your game, or 15 people would buy your game. You put it on Game Pass and, you know, overnight they were getting 600,000 people who are playing the game, because if it's added to the catalog, a lot of the people who have Game Pass and put the money in to actually pay for it will just go from game to game to game to game. Before you know it, you'll have 1 million people playing the game. And it's just like, for little publishers like that and little development studios, goes a long way to be like, well, we fucking made something people like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, there's always avenues. Like, again, my favorite software, one of my favorite companies, Revolution Software, the guys who are behind Broken Sword, and they mostly got their money from porting the 2 Broken Swords onto phones and to iPads and having a special hook up with Apple. So like that's like you get where you can in the kind of
they started a kind of trend, didn't they? Like when they put the Broken Swords on the phones, and now you've got like Age of Empires Mobile, you've got like all these like Command and Conquer jumped in.
It's all a bit of a march there, because basically with the game that they had was like it was the same game engine. They just were able to downsize it to a mobile device, which is pretty fucking impressive. And not only that, but also add new content onto it as well. Like they gave an extra prologue there to Nico, which is great. But yeah, there we go. And
but the beauty part about those is they're not riddled with microtransactions like every other person that puts a game on there.
That's also a big part of it as well. Yeah. The whole game, the big gaming culture isn't in the smaller projects anymore. Yeah. Like they are just game for the sake of games. Also,
itch.io as well.
There you go. There,
is the other. Yeah. You can legit fucking spring. It was who's? Oh fuck! What's his? Oh, I've got fucking Google his cunt's name now. Either way, Dave, there's a picture of a human you might recognize on your phone.
I always thought bees came in 2 colors.
Pirate Software. I know a lot. I know a lot about gaming development just from like passively having listened to it, looked at and consumed his content. And they do the game jams, and they like just are actively like pursuing and trying to get people to make games and help develop. Do you know Yahtzee Croshaw was?
Yeah, I've played some of his games. Yeah,
like all that kind of stuff. That game dev diary was fascinating, and just knowing the intricacies of what makes these types of things. And then you look at like, okay, Grim Fandango isn't the most amazing thing, but it's well written and it's got character. And but what goes into this moment right now, that little just hint of light that hit him right at the end, right as the camera changed over.
Yeah, even the water just doesn't change; it stays.
This is a remaster version, so stuff like lighting and stuff like that has actually been touched up. But yeah, the actual the base game hasn't changed. Again, delightfully, LucasArts and kind of to a certain extent Double Fine, they are very good with like actually showing their work as well. So if I wanted to, I could play this game with the director's commentary, and they'll explain their kind of logic with like character designs and stuff like this. And some of the insights are fascinating. Like they did it for all the games. Same with Monkey Islands, for all the games who were watching this part of this little mini series. You're gonna do the same thing with all this stuff. I think